my name is Tom Yeaton, and I'd like to speak to you briefly about successful senior level appointments and how we believe they come down to fit. When recruiting externally at senior management level, how can an organization ensure that they make the right choice and appoint someone who will understand, appreciate, and flourish within the organization culture and make a substantial contribution? We all know that an inappropriate or wrong appointment can have dire consequences for the business, usually in far-reaching ways, not just in monetary terms, but in relation to disruption and trauma. Fortunately, our record in Ireland isn't as bad as the United States, where up to 40% of senior level appointments fail. We have to take heed of this. Firstly, you probably have some familiarity with the standard approach to recruitment, the so-called MUSs in planning the candidate assessment process, even for internal candidates. Just quickly, a recap. A statement on the organization's culture, mission, and emerging issues, as well as its style and values, is important. A job specification should be prepared that sets out the primary role and responsibilities, key relationships and reporting structures, as well as principal accountabilities. Important to have a candidate profile that not only outlines the requisite background experience, but encompasses competencies and selection evaluation criteria by which to evaluate candidates. Now, you presumably know too that the interview process should be criterion referenced and probably competency-based. What this means is simply that candidates must evidence past achievements that address the requirements of the new role. I think we'd all agree that previous experience is a very good indicator of future success. However, very often, the process I've just outlined isn't sufficient to ensure that the appointee understands and suits the organization and not just the job, and there is indeed a proper fit. My colleagues and I believe that there are 5 additional elements that should be incorporated in any selection process at senior level. The first would be an independent view. This independence should be provided by a recruiter, management consultant, or perhaps an executive coach, sitting with the selection panel during the first stage shortlist interviews. This independent panel member would have a balanced, objective view and focus on the softer issues, primarily those relating to fit. The second element would be input from senior managers. At the outset, the senior management team should be met to gain a real appreciation of the organization and its culture. Thirdly, evaluation instruments. These tools are important in order to gain insight on candidates. We would suggest psychometrics to look at behaviors, preferences, and attitudes and values at work. We'd also suggest critical reasoning tests, probably both verbal and numerical, to determine the ability to analyze and judge. An in-tray exercise where candidates have to address issues and set priorities under considerable time pressure. The fourth element would be, for external candidates, proper verification of qualifications and the career record. It's very important to get written verification from referees, but also to speak with them by telephone and to check with educational institutions and professional bodies. The fifth element would be a pre-appointment luncheon. We think it can be exceedingly useful to meet a candidate in an informal social setting. Our experience as recruiters has shown that these 5 elements of a selection process are essential and lead to an informed, more accurate decision-making when making senior level appointments.